Hi, I'm Madi Hockaday, also known as the Anne of this relationship.
And I'm Holly, the Leslie.
We love Parks and Rec. We love behind the scenes.
And we love each other. This is literally the best Parks and Recreation rewatch show.
We're your park pals.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
Here we are, you guys. Beauty pageant.
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may be listening to this.
Good weekend.
Yes.
Anyway, whatever. Anyway, okay, beauty pageant. Thank you for being here. I'm just going to get right into it. I don't have a ton of recap. Actually, I don't have any recaps. So I don't know if you guys have questions about them, then okay, great. But which by the way, you guys, you can always do that. Just FYI, you know what I mean? You can always ask questions after something has aired. But anyway, okay. So beauty pageant, I have to say this one kind of hurts my heart a little bit just because of how realistic it is.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me.
Yeah, it was really hard. But anyway, it's a really good reminder, though. But okay, let's get started. So first of all, it was written by Katie Dippold, rather.
Yes.
And she's been with Parks and Rec for a while, actually, primarily as a story editor of 11 episodes. She also wrote something called Bowling for Votes and Meet and Greet, which I am not super familiar with. Are you at all?
I have never heard those words in my life. Together.
Yeah. Okay, same. Okay, great. She also worked on The Heat, that movie that we've talked about consistently. So I guess that movie has a lot to do with, the people that work on the crew here. And
because Paul Feig did that as well, right?
What's one?
Did Paul Feig do Heat as well?
Yes. Okay. Yes, I believe so. Yeah, and she's also from UCB, so I'm sure that she has some connection there.
Heck yeah.
She also plays a character named Mindy. I did have to do a deep dive to find out who that was in Parks and Rec. She's actually the one who, in later seasons, is the one that's deathly afraid of animals, but the therapist, Dr. Richard Nygaard told her to face her fears when they're hiring for the animal control.
Yes.
She's like, please don't give me this job.
That's amazing. Good.
Nice. Yeah, so that's her.
Love it.
And then it was directed by Jason Woliner, I'm going to say. Maybe Woliner. I'm not really sure. I'm so sorry. He also directed Freddy Spaghetti and Man of the Year. But also something that's really cool is that he directed and co-created the MTV show Human Giant that I talked about a while ago, which was like a sketch show with Aziz Ansari and the Kablam guy or whatever in Parks and Rec. His name's Paul Scheer. And then Holly's boyfriend was also in that from The Office / Rent-A-Tent guy named Rob Hubel. And this director, Jason Woliner, also worked on Borat. But the thing that I noticed was The Last Man on Earth, which is that show with Will Forte, which I love. I think it's such a good show. It's on Hulu. You guys should totally watch it if you haven't already.
I haven't seen it, but I do enjoy Will Forte from his SNL years. So,
it's so good.
And he did direct a little bit of SNL. And New Girl. And then fun little quirky fact, he was like bratty kid #1 or something in Weekend at Bernie's.
What? That's wild.
Yeah, that's what I found.
It?
He also directed Aziz's special.
Yes, I saw that. And I think he also
one.
worked with Patton Oswalt as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I had one more thing, another thing about Katie as well. It looks like she's written some episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
And then along with The Heat, she also worked on Spy and Ghostbusters, the woman version. So she's done a lot with Melissa McCarthy. So she's a big...
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, that's all I have on that.
Samesies.
And I would like you to know that as I've started taking notes, I literally write in all caps after my notes on the writer and director summary so that I don't forget.
Yay.
And then I give you your time.
Thank you.
Because it's very worth it. And I hate when I accidentally skip over it because I get so excited. So I need to remind myself.
No, I completely understand it though. But I am ready for the summary if you are.
Yes, I am. Let's do it.
All right. Beautiful. So, okay. Summary, here we go. With Ron still out of the office due to his hernia, Leslie heads out to judge the Miss Pawnee Beauty Pageant. In the Tom Sleaze fashion, Tom reaches out to his connections to get himself on the panel as well. Uncharacteristically, April joins the pageant as a contestant for the prize money. Anne and Mark have the weirdest second date ever with shower fixing, pasta, and of course, Andy.
Yes, I love that.
Yes.
I liked all the stories, like the B stories in this one too.
Yeah, I agree. I enjoyed that as well. And I'm excited to kind of talk about this Mark and Andy dynamic situation.
Fun fact, this was the only episode where Ron is not in it because he's recovering from his hernia operation. And I don't know if this was intentional on Nick Offerman's part, like what if he was doing something or what, but yeah, he's not in it.
I was going to ask you if you knew what was going on with that because he wasn't
I
there.
researched it, but I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, huh. And you're saying it's literally the only episode we have that he's not in?
Yeah, so far, and I believe in the whole series that he doesn't even make an appearance, but, I'll keep you posted on that. But as far as I know, at least up to this point, this is the only episode that he's not in at all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying that because I like that he's in every other episode.
I know, me too. Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. I really like Leslie's outfit in this cold open. I think it seems way more than Leslie, way more Leslie than we've ever seen so far.
Because it's that pink shirt with the cross-stitch blazer. I love that outfit. Yeah, it's one of the first Leslie outfits where I'm like, I would wear that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd also totally do this, drink wine and then order everyone flowers.
Yes.
In the cold open.
Well, and it's funny because I feel like people are probably watching this episode either before or after listening to this. And they're like, everybody's chipping in $90 for flowers. You guys, flowers are so expensive. It's ridiculous. I did not think about it, but when I go to buy flowers or when I watch those wedding shows and they're like, we spent $500 on the flowers. I was like, flowers? Are you serious? But yeah, so I can understand the $90, but I love that she's asking them to pitch in to buy their own flowers.
I know. I was thinking that too. Yeah. Oh my God.
And poor Jerry, she's like, yeah, I don't know if I got you some. We're going to have to wait.
I know. I'm waiting for him to have more lines. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how far we have to wait to get some more Jerry Donna lines.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I think definitely by season 3 we get there, but I don't know how far into season 2 it takes. So we'll see.
I agree. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I know that in the Venezuelan episode with Fred Armisen, where we get a little bit more from Donna. But I don't think that's still full Donna, the amount of lines she gets and whatnot. So I'm excited to see that grow.
Me too. I have that Tom discusses his favorite strip clubs, Talent and Poise. And then he says the Glitter Factory is disgusting. And I'm pretty positive that we go there in later episodes. So
yes. And I also love these names.
Oh my God,
and it gets better as we go. But where do they get these? Love the names. I love the way, April brings up this great point to Leslie. She's like I would never think that you would be someone who is into beauty pageants. And Leslie lays it out so nicely. This is the person that's going to kind of represent what a woman should be like in Pawnee, which is really cool because I think we should look at all beauty pageants like that if that's what it's going to be. If you're going to be a beauty queen, setting an example for the young girls in your community and whatnot, I think that's a great thing to do. But I think so many people have viewed it in a different way.
Yeah, well, I think the name itself, beauty pageant, is it needs a rebrand. You know what I mean? Beauty pageant, it should be lady pageant or I don't know, brain pageant.
Woman of the Year, something like that.
Yeah. Something like that. I think that I had that in my notes too, though, where I was so happy with how serious Leslie is taking all of this and how important it is to her to find a woman that represents Pawnee the way that, she wants people to feel and look up to,
Yeah. For sure.
But anyway, so now I have where Leslie is sitting at her desk and she's confused about April being nice to her. Yep. I love the way that Leslie played that. And then she just has sugar on her desk.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, okay, so I'm a big sugar person. I feel like, Holly, you know this living with me and the amount of times we got frozen yogurt. And me too. Love sugar. But those Frappuccino type drinks already are so sugary for me. I feel maxed out on my sugar intake when I have one of those. And then you look at the extra whipped cream she has, which I'm all for, but then she's adding sugar on top of it. I was like, Leslie, I don't know how you don't have diabetes.
I know. I always think about that. I'm like, how are you not like 800,000 pounds with diabetes?
Right. This is an amazing amount of sugar that you are intaking right now.
Oh my God. Also, side note, I at my office, it's really wonderful. We're spoiled because in our office we go grocery shopping and like stock the pantry or like the break room thing. And they asked me what, like, they go around, they're really nice, and they ask like what everybody wants. And I said, can we get whipped cream? Actually, and it's the first time I've ever asked for it. And then I put it on my coffee because I was like, inspired, obviously, and I also do that at home, but I never thought about like just getting it for work. And then I did it in front of some other people, and then like some of my coworkers have come up to me and been like, oh my God, whipped cream on coffee is my new favorite thing. And I'm like, right?
It's amazing. That's so cool that you do that. I love that.
Yeah, it's really nice. I do like that part.
Yeah. That's a perk for sure. I love the name of this coffee shop, The Grind. I love that.
Yeah, I like it too.
So yeah, along with the strip clubs, like where are we getting these names? Because I love them.
I know. I think they must be based off of like something that they've seen before. Because like in LA, there's that coffee shop chain, the Coffee Bean. So maybe that's like, yeah, they're just playing off that.
Yeah, I can see that. I also, this comment, like classically hot.
Oh my God, I know.
I feel like,
and then April's face.
Yeah, and there are these moments throughout this episode where Leslie, she means well. You know, I know where she's going with her, what she's trying to say, but she says it in a way that it's kind of insulting to who she's actually trying to, you know, compliment. Like here with April, she's like, you know, like there's got to be a chance for those of you like us that aren't classically hot, like you, April, or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's not coming across the way you want it to.
Yeah, exactly. So are you going to vote for me, girl?
And I like this thing too, like of like when she's like, well, no, I have to be fair. April's like, okay, that's going to be $7.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking to myself, I would just buy my boss coffee.
Yeah.
You know, and like not ask for money.
Right.
So why I think it just makes it funnier that she asks for the $7 back.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But I have a favorite line here. This is my favorite line. Okay.
I'm ready.
So April is explaining why she's joining the pageant. And she says, I can be idiotic for $600.
That is
And
great.
I'm like, same.
Yeah, same. No, I was thinking that too. I was like, yep, I would do that for sure.
Yep.
Why not?
I get where you're coming from, April. I feel you.
I do hate that Tom is going to be judging the pageant. It's really gross and disgusting to me, and we'll get to some more skeezy things, but I hate that he like called in that favor. It's nasty.
I agree. And there's a line here that like I have never caught before, and I don't know how, because it's not a throwaway line like some of his other ones. Like he's the only person on screen. But he says something along the lines of, well, tell them you already have an Asian judge. Kick him out. Tell him you already have an Asian judge. You know, like they were trying to make it diverse in some way, or he's trying to be like, you only need one of me, or I don't know what was going on, but
Yeah, interesting.
he's disgusting.
Next I have, yeah, totally. Next I have the mural because Dave comes and this mural is so heartbreaking.
I know.
Oh my God. And they talk about fisting and oh my God, what a mess.
Lively fisting. Why, Pawnee? Why?
Why? Oh my gosh, I was talking to my sister. I don't remember where she was, but Brooklyn said that she's in St. Louis, and she said the same thing, that like they do have murals in one of the courthouses. Maybe she was saying, I can't remember, but she said that like she's seen kind of heartbreaking murals as well. And I was like, I cannot believe that that's a real thing. I mean, I can, but like, damn.
No way. Like, are they as offensive as the ones at Pawnee?
I think obviously Pawnee like, you know, heightens it, but she said that they're definitely like, they make you do a double take where you're like, why is that
Right.
still up?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Weird.
I'll have to get more details from her, but yeah.
Yeah, that's gross.
Also, it's really sad that Dave doesn't know who these people are in her office, and then she has a change of heart. It's really sad. But I will say, okay, really quickly, I have to say that I am realizing that this show, obviously this show has already bled into part of my life, or like in all of my life, but I feel like I have been more like seeing myself in the show rather than me taking portions of the show and putting it into my life instead, if that makes sense. And like ever since this podcast started, I've been doing what I just said, essentially, where like, long story short, or long story long, I now have a wall of women in my office.
Yay.
And I have a picture of me, my mom, and my sister, and my brother-in-law. Even though he's not a woman, he still is part of it because that picture is awesome. And then I was like thinking about Leslie, and I was like, oh my God, I am her, because I was like, I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm sometimes inspired by myself.
Yes.
But yeah, my wall of women includes Beyonce, Lizzo, Hillary Clinton, RBG, and Betty Friedan, who wrote The Feminine Mystique, which I might talk about that in therapy a little bit later. But oh my God, changed my life. Every man and woman should read it. So, but
That's so cool.
But yeah, that would be sad if like someone came in and didn't know who Madeleine Albright, or even like, I don't even think he knew who like Hillary Clinton was and all that stuff. So that was kind of, I definitely would have like a double take on that as well.
Now, I'm going to be completely honest. And if you showed me a picture of Madeleine Albright before I watched Parks and Rec, I don't know if I would recognize her by picture, but I knew her name. So like the fact that she says that's Madeleine Albright and he says, oh, that's weird. I just call mine Nana. That's when I was like, oh, buddy.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And, I feel like kind of split with Leslie here, right? Like she kind of just shuts it all down immediately after that, where I'm like, well, you should at least give him a chance, like explain to who those people are and explain what's important to you, because he might not like know that. But then I also understand when she's explaining to Anne, like, I need someone who's interested in the things I'm interested in. Like, I can also understand that. So it's just, a weird dynamic for me, like, watching that through. I'm like, oh, I feel bad for him because, like, I know he likes her and she's kind of just shooting him down immediately, but,
Right, yeah. She just doesn't know how to handle it, I feel.
Right.
But I like that they talk about vaccinations when she's talking to Anne about it. I was like, oh my God.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. She's like, have you ever dated someone who didn't love giving vaccinations? She's like, I've never dated anyone who likes giving vaccinations.
I know. I was like, ding, ding, ding.
Yes. I don't know. That's a whole topic we could get on that I'm very passionate about because my work with kids with autism. I have a lot of feelings about it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. We should probably talk about that. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. We can bring it up in therapy if we want. I'm not going to get into it now, but just know I have feelings about it.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I think that's great.
Yes. I just quickly had Anne stopping in to say hi to Mark.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
And I just had to mention this because I love this line that she gives, although I'm partially like, I wish, like, I feel like if you really care for the person, you want to put in more effort. But she's like, I will cook you a cheap, quick dinner that will be no trouble at all for me.
I love that line.
It's such a good line.
I know.
Oh, but yeah, I also
totally
have that
get
feeling. Yeah, where I'm like, okay, but like if you were really into him, you'd want to cook him something that's gonna. But I mean, it does end up impressing him. He does like it a lot, so I don't know. But
yeah.
I just like that line.
Totally. And there is a deleted scene. I have this as a little bit later, but I'll say it now. Where there was a deleted scene where Anne warns Mark, like she leaves after Mark says, like, yeah, sure, I'll come over after work. He says, or she comes back in and she says, my shower really is broken. This isn't like a weird sexual thing. I promise. Like, don't. And then she like says it a couple times, and Tom overhears her, and Tom is like, you can use my shower, and then gives her a key. Like he does later. And I was like, oh shit, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I thought that was worth mentioning.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like that call back to the key, or call forward, I guess, because the key thing's at the very end.
Exactly.
Yeah, so now I'm at the beauty pageant, and we are meeting our people here.
Yes,
right?
Jessica Wicks is here.
Yes,
we love.
Would you like me to share who she's played by?
Yes, please.
Her name is Susan Yeagley.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. She was in an episode of Friends, but I think she was like,
going to say that.
She's like woman number 1 or something though. So she doesn't have a name that you could probably go back and like find who she was.
Do you want me to tell you what scene it was?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Of course you know, Holly.
I know exactly, because I actually I knew that before this episode, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I had to look her up when she came back on I don't remember. I saw her on one of the shows and I was like, where do I know her from? And then I saw that she was on, either Parks and Rec or Friends. But basically, Joey is working at the coffee shop because he lost his job as an actor, and he is giving free food to the pretty girls. Mm-hmm. And she was the one where she's like, but yesterday you said I was too pretty to pay for food.
Yes.
And,
okay, good.
And so that's her. And then he eventually charges her, and then he sings her happy birthday and gets her name wrong because they will give free things to the birthday people. And so anyway, that's who she is.
Very nice. I'm so glad
her.
we have a Friends expert on here for this.
Oh my God, you guys, anytime.
I also have that she was in Reno 911, couple episodes of Rules of Engagement. Mm-hmm. ER, and a couple episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond. But I did not know who she played. I've only seen that show like one time through.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with any of the other things she was in. Apparently, I saw in my research that she was in Coyote Ugly as well, as someone who like bids on one of the dudes, but I don't really remember that part.
Yeah, I've never seen that movie, but I did see that.
Oh my gosh, you got to watch that movie. It's really good.
Okay. Noted.
At least in my opinion, but some people are like, it's one of those classics 90s like chick flicky things, but and it has music. There's a songwriter moment, so it's about that. I
have a question.
But I also have that yes, go ahead.
Sorry. Do we think that she's married to Newport at this point or not yet?
I don't think she is, in my personal opinion.
Okay. I can get on board with that.
I think that she learns that later.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can deal with that.
Yeah, I also have that she's from Nashville, apparently.
Cool.
Represent.
Nice.
I don't know if that's really true, but that's what I saw on the internet, so I'm going to say it's true.
We're going to go with it.
I think it's really funny, too, those huge belts. Like, she was wearing a huge belt, like, around her shirt or dress or whatever the hell. I was like, oh, my God, that's such a fashion moment of that time.
Yeah.
I totally did that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a fashion statement from the early, like, late 2000s, early 2010s. Mm-hmm, for sure.
Mm-hmm. My eyes were like crinkled though, and like I out loud when I was watching this said ew when that old man judge said I made Jessica. Ew.
Yeah, and that sad look that she gives,
yes.
Like, it makes me so uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm,
He is played by Worth Howe, and he was in some episodes of Mad Men.
Oh.
And which, I've heard that that's a pretty sexist show too towards women. So that
it's sexist in the sense where it's going by the time of Mad Men. It's not like sexist in 2000 or whatever the hell, you know what I mean? But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
So basically he just plays sexist people.
Yeah. He was also in an episode or two of Law and Order.
Oh, okay. I need to watch that show, I'm sure, but I just don't.
Girl, if you want to watch that entire show, it's going to take you years.
That's true.
Do you know how many episodes there are?
Oh my God, there's like 800 seasons.
Yeah, and then there's also different subsections. Right. So there's like different units. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. Super cringy moment coming up with Tom. I hate it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Do you know what I'm going to say? Or which one?
Is it the cup size?
Yes.
Ugh.
Where he's like guessing everyone's bra sizes, and then he says like, how'd you get in here, like to an A size or something, and then they're all like laughing along. I'm like, this is not charming. I don't understand.
Okay. I don't think, oh gosh, I really hope we wouldn't have girls laughing at the fact that a guy was trying to do that. That makes me so uncomfortable.
They must have known that he was a judge, and so maybe that's why.
Yeah, you're right. Well, they do have name tags on. The judges have name tags on. So it would make sense if he had his name tag on already, that they would be like, let's be cool to this guy.
Also, catch is that his is handwritten. His name tag is handwritten.
Yes, I have that written too.
And everybody else's is typed.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad that you caught it too. So it must be because they kicked that other judge out.
Right. And his is also like, I don't know if it was just in one take. I should have gone back and watched the other takes with his name tag in it. But there's one take where his name tag is like folded. And so you can't see the back half of his names.
See, now I thought it was folded too, but then I looked closer and it could be that his suit jacket is covering the side of it. Like, you'll have to go back and look because I thought it was folded too. I was like, what the hell? Why'd they do that? Or why didn't someone catch that? But it looks like it's an optical illusion. It looks like the lapel of his suit jacket is like over it a little bit.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and see if that's what it is. I also think like if that is the case, like that it is folded, I can see why someone would catch it and then say, let's just leave it because it happens sometimes. Like I've put name tags on before and it's all crinkled, you know?
Yeah.
So
fair.
Could just been realistic.
I love that this old lady is in the contestants. That is so hilarious.
I believe she is the same lady that sings the iconic national anthem at the city council debate.
I think so too. I wrote that as well. I really look forward to seeing her. I have some more information on her a little bit later, but so when we get to her talent show moment, I will explain. But yes, I love that she's here.
Yes, me too. And I didn't see, like, I'm excited to hear what you have to say because I didn't see her name in the guest stars list. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my thing and I just literally have Tom, you're so gross written. Could really apply to any moment in this episode.
I know, but actually though, every single Tom moment is a disgusting, like, sleazy moment.
Yeah,
I need to make a sting for sleazeball Tom. Nasty.
Yes. These dresses that all these women are wearing are very 2009.
Oh my God, so true. They look like almost like Easter dresses meets prom.
Yeah, meets like 8th grade formal.
Yeah,
like before you could even, like where you're still like in the pretty conservative stage, except for Trish. Hers is not conservative.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah. I love April. She is trying so hard. And she has this beautiful like line, I love people, places, and things.
I love that. I also love her body language. Like she holds up her hand. So there were a ton of deleted lines that she had. I didn't write down them. Actually I did write one down, but I didn't write all of them. One of them was like, I like stationery. It was so all like random. Really dumb things. Yeah, exactly. And that she was just coming up with. So I wonder if she improvised some of those lines or like what was written. I don't know if that like people, places, and things line was written or that was all her. But they did give her some leeway, which again we'll talk about a little bit later too. Right.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know what was improv by her because we've learned in previous episodes that Aubrey Plaza does do improv. So
yeah. Absolutely. Also, this host is the guy who hosted the Tellenton Awards and the banquet.
Yes.
I love that they keep bringing him back. I do have some information on him. Do you want to hear it?
Yes, but I also have to mention that he is also the MC when they have the roast with the journalists and the politicians. She has that whole, like, I'm going to open a can of whoop ass on the person from the Pawnee Sun.
Oh, yeah.
He also is the MC there.
Yeah, and at the Wood Conference when Ron wins his Wood Award. So anytime there's a host, would I? I love all those.
Yeah, so good.
Well, his name is Jim Meskimen, and he is an improviser and has done a ton of voice work, it looks like, which is amazing. Lots of animation. He had a few guest stars on Fresh Prince, which we talked about a little bit ago, and Whose Line Is It Anyway? In Britain, which I don't think that I knew that Britain had a version of that show, so that's great.
Nor did I.
Right. And then he also played an officer in The Grinch, which I thought was funny.
Nice. Yeah, and I noticed a lot of his voice acting is like superhero stuff, like Batman and some of the Marvel ones, Justice League. So it looks like he did a lot of superhero acting.
Yeah. Totally. Love that.
Cool. Oh my gosh. We are meeting all these contestants here.
Yes.
And I was going to tell you, Susan is played by Anne Elizabeth Gregory, and I have found nothing on her. I don't know if she does anything else. I wonder if she was just someone who knew a cast member or a crew member or something, and she got the job because it was like, well, we want someone who looks a certain way and has this piano talent, and they just found somebody that they knew. I don't know. But
yeah, I got that she, I read that she did a lot of punked, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Which means that she's a great improviser, which means that she probably nailed her audition, or maybe she did know someone, like maybe she had been in UCB or something like that, or one of the other improv troupes. But that's what I found. So I was like, that's why she has to be in this show.
Yeah, okay. Because I Googled her name, and it came up with Facebook people who were like, not her.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so there's not anything on
I know.
you,
I thought she was great. I would love her to be in other things.
I liked her a lot. And then we have Trish, who is played by April Marie Eden. I didn't do a ton of research on her, but I will tell you right now, I knew immediately that she is the chair model from The Office.
Yes! I have that too.
That's awesome. So I don't know if you realized it like when you saw her acting, but I was very impressed with myself because we don't even see her act in Chair Model. She's literally just a picture. And when she started acting, I was like, that's the Chair Model. And I was like, I'm actually really proud that I caught that.
Yeah, I don't think I knew that until I looked it up. I thought that she looked familiar, but I would not have guessed it until I saw it. And then so many other people have caught it too. It's all over the internet with like comparisons of her as the Chair Model and her as, Trish. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think she does a wonderful job of playing the exact character she's supposed to play.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's so good. She produced like in real life, she produced a few things like on her IMDb page. But the last thing I saw her do was in 2017. So I don't know if she maybe took a break or just, wasn't interested or wasn't booking. I don't know. But if you're listening, Trish, we think you're amazing and we would love to talk to you.
Yes. Yes. It was a beautiful
I love that she says that she's been on YouTube.
Yes.
I love to laugh.
Oh my gosh.
So funny.
Yeah, she just does that really well. I'd be interested to know if any of that was improv.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple of notes on her. We've got a few other things before we get to her like answer to the Q&A question, which is crazy. But yeah, these judges are like so abysmal and disgusting. Yeah. And I was wondering, I was just thinking about it. I was like, so if Leslie and April weren't there, or Leslie and Tom weren't there, then it would literally just be these old white dudes and maybe one other Asian judge that guy or, that Tom took out or apparently or something.
Right.
So I was like, that's gross and factual. And I hate that that's true.
Yeah, agreed. I also hate that. But I think it also is like a representation of, I think they did a really nice job of giving us a representation of what Pawnee is to the creators. Like this is how they view the people that are qualified to judge this in Pawnee. Like this is the standard that they're at.
Yeah.
And something I noticed when I was watching it the last time right before we recorded was that when Trish is walking up, Leslie is giving her like an actual chance. She's not judging her by like how she's presenting herself. She's like giving her applause, has a big smile on her face. And then when she starts talking is when she's like, well, we can't all be winners, So she's holding true to her ideals of like, we're looking for someone that has these substantial qualities. And she's not just looking at someone and going like, well, it looks like they're not going to have those, right? She's giving her a fair and fighting chance, which I think is really sweet, because if you look at anybody else on the panel, they're not really giving anyone else a fighting chance because all they see is Trish.
The looks.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I do love that Leslie has a scorecard. I love that scorecard.
Yes.
I also think that it's amazing that they actually printed it out instead of just talking about it. I think that was awesome to see. That one column is the Naomi Wolfe factor. And I do love that Tom says something called the Naomi Wolfe factor, because if I'm being completely honest, I didn't know that name either. But she's a feminist author, journalist, and was a political advisor to Al Gore. And she's been cited as the founder of the third wave of feminism, which I feel like I should have known, but I'm just learning so much about the women who came before us in their endeavors to fight for equality. And so Naomi Wolfe is definitely worth looking into.
Yeah, for sure. I saw she also advised Clinton as well.
Okay. Yeah. And I like that she has like all the, like, she's got her story, like she's got a lot of feminist qualities in there, which obviously is not a surprise, but I think it's really awesome to see that. I also looked up, because I know I've heard this, but I don't know what it is, the je ne sais quoi in French. And that literally means I don't know what in French. And so that phrase was borrowed into English as an expression that means like, what we say is just has that thing,
Right.
like you don't know what that thing is, but it
The
makes
it
them
factor.
distinctive or special. Yeah, exactly. The it factor. So that's what je ne sais quoi means. Just
Yeah.
FYI.
Perfect. I enjoy April's Leslie Nope.
Oh my gosh. I think it's so funny. I was also wondering like why they're laughing so hard at some of these
Yeah.
impressions. I was like, oh, I mean, I get why Tom's laughing, obviously, because he knows Leslie. But
Right,
like
right.
when the one judge is laughing really hard at her impression of her sister, I was like, why is that so funny? I don't get it.
I couldn't tell if it was like the mention of Ritalin and then the
Maybe.
behaviors after. I don't know if that, but like I don't know if Ritalin was around when he was a kid. That guy, he's
Yeah.
pretty old. But
I don't know either.
yeah, I don't know. But what's his face does Sean Connery? That's who he's doing. In case anybody didn't know.
Okay. Thank you. Because I wasn't sure. I was
yeah.
like, I know that the tone means that he's impersonating somebody, but I didn't know who.
I feel like that's a lot of people's go-tos because Sean Connery has such a distinctive voice. Like he's got that slight accent and it's kind of got that raspy,
Yes.
that raspiness. My brother quotes him. Like he doesn't quote him. He imitates him on certain phrases that he has. That's the
Yeah.
only reason I know because like he's been doing that forever. But yeah, that's Sean Connery.
Yeah, that SNL guy. I can't remember his name. Damn.
Oh,
but
gosh,
the
I
guy
know who
who
you're talking
used
about.
to do Sean Connery on SNL was amazing.
Yeah, I can see his face. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. He did Trump, I think, a few times too, like impersonation before Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, you're right.
Just a side note also, I looked this up, but apparently, like right after Beauty Pageant was aired, NBC set up an official Miss Pawnee Beauty Pageant website, and it was called MissPawnee.com. And it actually included biographies for all the judges and the competitors, as well as a downloadable PDF of Leslie's custom scorecard.
Wow.
And there were like ringtones, and it was just like, and I don't know what the ringtones were for, but like you could download all this shit from Parks and Rec. I'm sure like you could download like the theme song or like, maybe one of Andy's songs or something like that. But yeah, it's so crazy.
Well done, NBC. That's cool.
Oh my God.
Does it still exist?
Yeah, they were so into it. I don't know. Let's go to it. I doubt it. MissPawnee.com. Okay, no, it does not. But that would have been so great. I wish.
Yeah, right? That would be so cool if it still existed.
I was actually really literally thinking what Leslie's line is about Trisha's talent. Like I was like, wait a second, she's not even twirling
She's
the
not doing anything. Well, and then we have this beautiful piano performance, and like you notice that in Pawnee, like classical, like pianists are not valued because of the response. It's like,
Right.
but like she's awesome. She's so good. I like that.
Yeah.
And then we have Tom, who's like, oh, I'm going to text Trish. Like, how do you have her number already? Is my first question.
Right. Ugh, so
Like,
gross.
and then
I do love how moved Leslie is by this too. Like all her
Yeah.
facial expressions were so hilarious.
yeah, I agree. I like that.
I do have a brief moment so I said that we were going to talk about later where April has a lot of deleted scenes. Oh my gosh, you guys have to go somehow buy the DVDs or something, or maybe Peacock will make it available. But they had a deleted scene where April has a talking head of what her talents are. And she is like backstage, and on stage there is an Irish dancer. So if you found on IMDb, or if you go to IMDb, on this episode, it says Irish dancer. And I was like, where is there an Irish dancer? That was a deleted scene. So just FYI on
Okay.
that. But so the Irish dancer, and I don't know like why she's on stage, because she wasn't like a contestant, or at least as far as I knew. Maybe she was.
That's weird.
But anyway, I'm sure she was. I just didn't like, the camera didn't really cut to her that much. But regardless, April has a talking head where she talks about what her talents are, all of her talents. Do you want to hear some of them? They're
Yes,
crazy.
please. Go.
Oh my God. Okay. One includes fitting her body into small spaces, making fun of people dancing, quoting every line from Hocus Pocus, Scream 2, and then she says another movie that has Bette Midler in it. And we do learn later on that she loves Bette Midler.
Yes.
And then she also can win a staring contest with a cat. There were so many, Maddie. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how many she made up of those, or like if she had to remember all of those. It was insane, but there were so many.
There's got to be some that are improv.
Oh, I'm sure it has to be. I also had a note that, I forgot to say this, but I had a note that old lady that we have been talking about, her name is Linda Montana, by the way. And I'm pretty positive she also sings the national anthem or something in the telethon.
Yeah, you're right. She sings, what's that? Oh, I don't know if that's here. Does she sing here too?
She sings in the talent show. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, as her talent.
Yeah, she sings in her talent.
Okay, do you know what song she sings?
She sings, "It's so good, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good."
Yeah, okay, so that's what I was thinking was the telethon, but then I was like, no, I think that was in this episode, so I held my tongue there for a second. So, yeah, right. I think you are correct. She's definitely in telethon, and I think it could be the national anthem as well. That would make sense to me.
Yeah. We'll have to double check it, but yeah.
Well, that episode comes towards the end of the season, so we're not waiting forever for it.
Right, that's true. It's so crazy.
I am at Anne's house for a little break.
Yes,
and I never noticed that there was music playing in the background. It sounds like Anne is listening to music while she cooks.
Yes, I heard that too.
Yeah. And also the wallpaper in her bathroom.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Yeah. I gotta go back. What is it?
It's like a cream color, and then there's like green symbols equally distributed across the wallpaper, but it's like very if I saw the whole bathroom, maybe I would feel differently, but I was like, this is such random wallpaper for a bathroom. I also don't think wallpaper is a good choice in a bathroom because of the moisture.
Yeah, the steam.
Yeah. So gross.
My mom has wallpaper in hers. I think that was a very like 90s thing. I mean, obviously this wasn't in the 90s, but like I don't know when that house was built or what, but yeah, I mean, obviously they probably didn't think about it too hard, but yeah, that was a thing, putting wallpaper like in places where it probably shouldn't have been.
Right. And then Anne goes outside and notices Andy, and I have to give props to the makeup people because they make it look like he's got dirt on his face. He's been laying out there for quite some time. I think they did a really nice job of those like really subtle touches that really make you be like, oh, he's living here. Damn.
Yeah. And his fingernails later, I noticed, gross or dirty. And yep.
Just really thorough.
Very. And I like his line of like when she says, "Are you living here?" And he has a very similar delivery to his like spouting off things and trying to like, not say it. And then he says yes, just like randomly, just like Leslie did in the stakeout where she's like trying to say all these random things. Mark, like who Anne's on the date with. So I thought that was funny. Yeah,
it was good delivery. I also like that he's like, yeah, I've only been here for a week.
Right, 1 week. Listen, are we going to talk about anything other than the lies I told you?
Yeah. This guy.
I can't decide if that's my favorite line or there's one later that's more serious. So I don't know. I'll have to think about that a little bit.
Sounds good. I'm back at the pageant and Tom, I hate this. I hate it so much. And I would feel disgusting if somebody talk to me like this. They're like, I have a question for the hot one. It's like, no, I have a name. Like, okay, there are other beautiful ladies on this stage with me. Come on, that's gross.
Nope, hated it. I did too.
Yeah, not about it.
I looked up did you look up who Alexis de Tocqueville was?
No, I didn't.
Because she said Alexis de Tocqueville called America, whatever. And so he was a dude. By the way, he was a dude. I thought it was a girl, but it was a dude. And he was a French diplomat in the 1800s who studied political science, and he wrote about democracy. Like that's one of the things that he was famous for. But so that's who that dude is. And then it's just interesting. Interesting is maybe a too subtle of a word, but basically my eyes were so wide and like gross at like how she is speaking and answering these questions. And then it's just like, I wrote in all caps, what the fuck? Cause I didn't realize how racist this was when I first watched it.
Right.
Like, and
the whole,
I would call it our America and not their America.
Exactly.
And the whole like birthing rates of immigrants in this country. I have a big deep dive, Maddie.
Okay.
About what this was based off of. Did you get into this at all or no?
I did not. I was honestly just kind of appalled at the whole answer to the question. It makes me a lot upset at many aspects, but also just the delivery of it. Like it's not a coherent thought to me. And
yes. Okay. That word is really amazing because in my research, okay, here I go. This is a big deal. So several people compared, like watchers, audience members confirmed or compared rather. The crew never really confirmed that this was true, but it totally was. They compared this answer to two real Beauty Pageant contestants. One was Caitlin Upton, who was the 2007 Miss South Carolina Teen USA, who made an incoherent response during the pageant. Her question was, polls have shown that a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a map, and why do you think that is? I looked up her answer.
That's also gross, Holly. There should not be that many people that can't identify the United States if they're American.
Right. That's absolutely ridiculous. But I recorded her answer and I am going to compare them. Now I want to make a clear distinction that I am just showing this for research purposes. I am 5% judging, but for the most part I am really just truly showing you, we're not like bashing her, but I'm just truly showing you like what this
where it came
answer from. Trish was based off of. Okay, so the I can't remember if I recorded the question, but this, keep in mind, again, its polls have shown that a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a map. This was in 2007, by the way. That's recent.
Is this Kate Upton?
No, different one.
Different person?
One.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, no, I thought that too. Very misleading. No, her name is Caitlin Upton.
Okay.
And I'm going to play this for you right now.
Let's do it.
Okay. Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Or should help South Africa. It should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
What?
So that's where the incoherent comes from, where what was she saying at the end? That's kind of...
that's...
So, like, when Leslie is like, wait, but she didn't answer the question. Like...
Right, and everybody's still clapping.
Right, exactly. And what's his face? What's his name? Mario Lopez, I think, the one that was on Saved by the Bell. He was the one that was, like, the host or whatever the hell.
Right.
Yikes. Okay, so that's that. And then, okay, so we have a second person that this was based on, and this was actually in the Miss USA 2009 contest. I'm incoherent as well. So Michael Schur also indicated that the episode was inspired partially by a gal named Carrie Prejean, I don't really know, the former Miss California USA, who received nationwide attention over her answer to a question about same-sex marriage.
Okay.
Your question comes from Judge number 8, Perez Hilton.
Are we worried?
You should be. Vermont recently became the 4th state to legalize same-sex marriage. Do you think every state should follow suit? Why or why not?
Well, I think it's great that Americans are able to choose one or the other. We live in a land that you can choose same-sex marriage or opposite marriage. And you know what? In my country and in my family, I think that I believe that a marriage should be between a man and a woman. No offense to anybody out there, but that's how I was raised, and that's how I think that it should be between a man and a woman. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary.
So that is where I believe Trish's racism comes in. This is where Carrie, the real life Trish, I guess, or what they're basing her off of, not real life, but is inspired from with racism versus homophobia versus right. Just any kind of discrimination is really what I'm seeing. So super, super conservative. Apparently she's a mega Trump supporter, as you could probably tell from that fucking
the soundbite.
Yes. So anyways, but those are the two people that Trish was based off of. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, so the writing about her being kind of racist and saying all this like weird bullshit that doesn't really make sense is based on those two people. So yikes. Right. And also people were like clapping at that. And when she said the whole in my country, excuse me? Whose country is it?
Yeah. Only yours. You make all the rules.
So that is a little bit of a deep dive as to where they got this inspiration.
Yeah. Dang. Well, it's cool to hear where they're coming from, at least.
Yeah, and I think we are definitely getting a little bit more in depth as to like we talked about, especially even in the first episode of this season, where we talked about that they're trying to draw inspiration from topical, events. You know what I mean? So it's not just about the park anymore. Now it's really we're getting into the government and kind of the current events politically or personally. And there's also a deleted scene too where this is kind of going off the topic a little bit, but there is a deleted scene where they cut the swimsuit competition, which is true. That has been a controversy moment in real life pageants. There's a deleted scene where Jessica Wicks has a line, "The Miss Pawnee pageant is about being pretty and fun so that men like you and want to take care of you." And the old man says, "Amen."
Ugh.
Barf.
Gross.
And then Tom gets really angry about the swimsuit competition being cut, and he goes on this like huge rant yelling at everybody. And so I kind of wish that they kept that in. Sleazeball Tom, because I think that would have been a really cool perspective to hear, but rough.
Yeah, I hate the whole swimsuit thing. I love the movie Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock. And I have to say, it does a really nice job kind of highlighting what those women put themselves through to do the swimsuit competition. Because remember when they're like, they order a pizza and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't had a pizza in like this many years." It's like, girl.
Yep.
Like, I understand taking, like, but I feel like it gets to the point where you're not taking care of your body anymore. You're doing things to the point where you're depriving your body in order to look a certain way. And we shouldn't be encouraging that.
Yes. And it's so much pressure.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And stress doesn't do anything good for your body physically either. So, yikes. But anyway, so that was my research on that.
Yeah. That makes me upset the way that Trish answers. I'm back at Anne's house. They're sitting down for dinner. Okay. They're sitting down for dinner. I noticed behind Anne, which is really cool because I've wanted to do this for a while. She has a mason jar full of her used wine corks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys know, but like there are actually some really cool things you can buy either on like Amazon or like the Hobby Lobby or whatever that are designed to hold your corks. And it's kind of like a decorative thing for your kitchen. It's really cool.
Yeah. I've seen those too.
Things.
They're like wall hangings and stuff too.
Right. Yeah. I love that. I also love Mark's comment. He's like, the Ativan
I had a note about that too.
And he's like, yeah, I peeked. I also didn't find toothpaste. Do you not use toothpaste?
I had to look up what Ativan was, if I'm being honest. I'm sure you already knew what it was, though.
What did you learn?
Well, so I just learned that it was a drug for anxiety, but then, like, I don't know if Ativan is really a thing anymore in the sense where when I looked up Ativan, it's now Leozapram or some shit like that, where it can also be used for seizures to calm, like, people's nervous system down so that they don't, have seizures anymore. But I think in this regard, Anne was using it for stress and anxiety. Right.
And I think, I can't remember if that's the same term they use when Dwight finds that pill in the office.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember either.
I don't remember if it's called Ativan.
We'll have to go back on that one.
Yeah, I haven't heard it being called Ativan, like medication for anxiety. So, yeah, I wasn't 100% sure what it was just because that's, like, I know the other term
Well,
now.
when I looked it up, I didn't find on the internet the word Ativan. Like it went to a different prescription, like I was saying, like the Leozapram or whatever. So I don't know. But either way, it's for anxiety. So
right. This April leaving the competition now.
Oh my gosh.
For this she's like, it's $600 in fences. Like, no, I'm out. And he's like, well, it won't cover a whole fence, but it'll get you started.
I honestly don't blame April for quitting. I would quit too.
Either.
That's fucking ridiculous. $600 in gift cards to a sporting goods store and a half of a fence. That ain't right. I'm not doing that. No.
Yeah. I feel like it also was not 100% clear going into the competition that it was going to be coupons. So like you're telling us now, after we've gone through all this crap of like showing off our bodies and our talents and all that shit, and now we've learned that we're going to get a fence and some soccer balls for what we've done today.
Right, and I know some people are doing it for the name of Miss Pawnee or whatever the hell, but like you should get some reward apart from that.
Well, and can I make a comment? Not that women can't like to do handiwork or sports, because I would be very interested in a sports thing. But do you like that they chose two specific things that are typically stereotypically male?
Yeah, that's
like,
interesting too.
So these women can win this and take it to their husbands or their boyfriends. It's like, could be the vibe they're going for.
Maybe. But I think that you're right in the sense where you would totally buy something from a sporting goods store. So
I would.
Like it doesn't have to be, feminine or masculine at all. But I see what you're saying.
I'm going mostly based on the stereotypical side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I would 100% spend $300 at a sporting goods store.
Right. Yeah, you would. But I also just like, that's so stupid. I don't blame April for quitting at all.
No. And I love her line. No, I didn't win, but at least I didn't make any new friendships.
I know. I like that line too.
That was like, I was contending between that one and the idiotic line for my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Both April lines. Awesome.
Yes. I'm on an April kick this episode, I guess.
Right. So now I've got where they're conferring about who's going to win. I thought it was so funny.
Why is Tom in charge?
I don't know. It's so dumb. He thinks he is.
He was brought in late. And he comes in like owns the place.
So dumb. I love the line of, it's so funny. Like, what are the girls in South Central Indiana? That's not, I don't think that's a thing. I think they were basing it off of because South Central LA is like such a big deal of like inner city kids and stuff. They were trying to compare it to that.
Oh my gosh.
Jessica's talent was to pack a suitcase.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What the fuck?
Damn. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad.
Oh God.
I'm so proud of Ray. He's like, yeah, Trish is not the sharpest tool in the shed. Like, let's look at Susan. Thank you, Ray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you tried.
Yeah.
I like Leslie's line of, I'm a judge, so I want to be impartial, but Trish will win over my dead body.
Yes.
That was really funny to me.
And she has a good reason.
Absolutely.
It's valid.
So dumb. And then, like, that's the thing, too. Like, you talked about, the judge then says, it's the hot one. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. That pisses me off. And the cut is so good, though, because they're discussing it, right? And Leslie's like, I'm still fighting for this. And then it cuts to them announcing the winner. So that editing was really well done, in my opinion, as well.
Love it. Dean Holland.
Yes. We have, we're back, and Andy has been brought in to the Ann and Mark date because it's raining outside. And I have a lot of feelings towards Mark for this because he didn't have to do that. And he's kind of sticking, like being like, I feel bad for Andy. Like, I don't know if he has some sort of guilt, like I'm dating Andy's ex-girlfriend or something. And I feel bad because he's living in the pit and Ann's not having it. Like, she's like, I don't want him in my house, which I can kind of understand. And, he makes the comment, well, like, yeah, I've already eaten. So like, it's fine. And he does that. Chris Pratt, though, with that baby, like puppy dog eyes over the shoulder look, I was like, that was so well done.
I know. I loved it. I love his little talking head in the tent, too. That went so
really well. Yes.
This is where I noticed, though, that his fingernails were dirty because when he's eating the pizza or whatever the hell he's eating, like, it's really nasty.
Yeah. And this little back and forth, right? Like Mark is like asking her what's in the sauce because it's really good and it's got a certain taste. And he's like, it's hot sauce. Like, he's getting in on it and saying like, I know more about Anne, basically,
Yeah.
Almost marking his territory a little bit. He's like, memories.
Oh my God.
I'm at Leslie's announcement now to everybody.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah. I get where she's coming from. I also love the way Amy Poehler does this because she's not looking at any specific person. It's almost like she's thinking out loud to everybody. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know if you noticed, but she's looking up at the sky and it looks really like she's thinking it out as she's saying it. But
she does talk to Susan. She's like,
she
especially
does,
Susan.
Yeah, she does bring it towards her. And then we have this other moment.
I probably do that too.
Right, where she's like, it's that like trying to compliment and encourage someone while also kind of bringing them down because she's like, Susan and I will forge ahead and show that it is not by the flatness of our tummies. And Susan's face is just like, what?
Yeah,
this is kind of rude,
I took it as, no, that, like, this is literally my what I was like my first choice for the favorite line, apart from that other funny one. And I wrote it down because I really like resonated. Where she says, "This isn't the first time Susans have lost to Trish's, and it won't be the last.
Yeah.
Susan and I will continue on until the women of Pawnee are judged not by the flatness of their tummies, but by the contents of their brains." And that's really what it. That's really where I didn't see it as an insult. Where I was like, she's saying, Susan, you have a really wonderful, smart, intelligent brain, and you have a lot of like real talents. So don't worry about that you didn't win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is true.
And I think I agree. I love that line. I think it's great. I think just every time I watch it, that little snippet makes me almost feel like she's calling Susan out for not having a flat stomach.
Oh, a flat tummy. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But that's like, I mean, I love the brain comment, and I like that she's being encouraging, and you know, and I love that she brings it back, and she's gonna congratulate Trish. She didn't want Trish to win, but she's being this like really great public figure, and she's gonna, you know, say something nice to Trish, but Trish is off taking shots already, you know.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
There is a deleted scene also. I don't know why she talks about it. I really honestly can't remember. But Leslie has a deleted scene where she talks about Joe Biden, and she says Leslie thinks he's hot. I might have, did I record that one too? Let me see. Oh shit. I turned off my phone so that it wouldn't buzz. But I think I recorded that deleted scene so everyone could hear it.
That'd be awesome.
I'll go on. We can continue on until my phone turns back on.
Which is hilarious because we know that later too, right? That she's super into Joe.
Yeah. And I think this was like the first time that we heard it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was so awesome. I did catch a continuity moment, and I don't know if it was like, you know, not really important, but so Leslie's making her speech, and then Trish is wearing her gown, like taking the shots or whatever. But then when Dave comes in after the judging is complete and after she makes her speech, Trish is wearing her outfit for the talent portion.
Oh, with the shorts.
So it's a little bit of a switch moment. But I do love that Dave doesn't even look twice at Trish. He's like, "Coming through, buddy."
Oh yes, I love that. Oh, I wrote that down, and I was like, yes, that's awesome. I loved that.
Yeah, and
so
I
much.
like how upfront he is. He's just like, "So I wanted to get like a confirmation on this. Are we doing this or not?" You know?
I wrote that too. I love that he's consistent and he's following up, and he's showing that he actually cares. And because he could have easily just been really discouraged by the way things happened and just kind of left it. But I really like that he's coming back, and he's, you know, he's adamant about it. He's like, "I do really want to take you out. This is how I'm reading the situation, and you know, I need answers."
I love it. Yeah. Okay, I found my Joe Biden thing. I did record it. Oh my God, are you ready? Okay.
Yes.
Our society judges women for the wrong reasons all the time. It's a double standard. Sarah Palin runs for vice president, and everybody talks about her looks. I start a blog about how hot I find Joe Biden, and nobody visits it. I don't get any comments. I mean, he is a hunk. The man is a hunk. That's not debatable.
Isn't that
great?
my
gosh. Yes. I love that they had this. I love that they had this in
this season.
Yes, I love that they had it planned out this early.
I know.
Yeah,
I wonder
wonderful.
if they wanted to do that for so long. You know what I mean? Like, or was it something that they just continued to find funny? It's amazing.
And now he's our president.
Oh, Joey. So there's another side note. There is a deleted scene where Anne and Leslie actually go to a coffee shop after the pageant. And I think it's like a couple days after the pageant. But they're looking at a Pawnee newspaper. And there's a front page picture of Tom and Trish about the beauty pageant. And they're like, you know, clasped hands. I'll post it on our story. But on the side, it says, "Local woman turns 70. And it really reminded me of your spring break is here thing.
Yes.
That was on the newspaper, because like those are the stories that are talked about and really important, evidently, in Pawnee.
This is how exciting Pawnee is.
Yeah, exactly. And then Anne also says, like, she thinks that Trish is kind of hot. And then she says, like, would my hair look good like that? Like, talking about, like, comparing herself to Trish. And I was like, that's weird. I'm glad we didn't see that.
Yeah, I feel like she wouldn't necessarily do that. Good choice to take that out, anyway. Probably. And we come to the end here where Tom is passing his keys out.
Sleazy Tom!
To everybody.
Yes.
And like, why? Like,
Oh my God.
he's still married, Holly, and we still don't
I know. I was thinking that
it's a fake
I wonder
marriage.
if he has some sort of agreement with his wife now, because like at this point it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And honestly, though, I will say, as skeezy as it is, this is a great tag. It's really funny. I love that he says he's been robbed twice. That's so crazy.
Yeah, I know that line. Like, it just is the perfect ending. I have been robbed twice.
But can you imagine if someone like just came up to you and gave you a key to their house?
I'd
That
be
would
creeped
so
out.
Weird.
I would never
Oh my
go.
God. Yeah, absolutely not. I would never go.
Yeah.
I would never.
Yeah, you don't know the person well enough. You don't know what's happening.
No,
Ugh.
no. But I was going to say, I forgot this part. I do think it's cute that Dave comes back and knows who the women in Leslie's
Yes,
house are. That really shows how mature and like how much he actually is really into him. And I'm also then proud of Leslie, because then she's like, you know, she was going to do that before he found out who the people were. Like, that line comes after she says, let's go out, you know?
Yeah.
So she just needed some time to recalibrate.
Agreed. And I do think it's really cool that he came back and he knew all these people, and he admits, I did this to impress you. You know.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, I like that too.
Well,
That's all I have.
that's it. Oh my God. We are getting so good at these motherfucking podcasts.
I know. Efficiency.
Efficiency, y'all. Well, you guys, we have a surprise for you next week, and we will talk about that a little bit later. Actually, we won't talk about it. It's just going to be a straight up surprise.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to say. But thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to us if you haven't done that. Share it with somebody that would be interested. And don't forget, if you know any parks people or government people, send them my way or our way, because I'd love to chat with them.
Yeah.
So
Any questions, comments? You have a favorite line you wanted to share with us? You can always email us.
Totally. Yeah, don't forget there's always people have definitely been voting. I'm so happy people are voting on the favorite line thing. But also, like, don't forget that you can write in a vote too, and I'll add it. I will make a new whole story for you.
100%.
Or at least I'll share it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
And tag you in it.
yes, well, I hope everyone's staying safe, and hopefully you guys are in the process of getting your vaccines and all that good stuff. But regardless, we thank you for joining us, and we will see you or hear from you next week.
Bye, guys.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
Okay, so therapy.
Yes.
What's going on, Maddie?
The biggest thing, I saw my mommy.
Yay! Oh my God, that video was so beautiful.
Yes, I got to. It was amazing. She had no idea. I did have to lie to my mom. I'm sorry, Mom, because I was really afraid that she was catching on, and I really thought about it, and I was like, I don't lie to my mom. I did it once when I was a teenager, and I regretted it forever. And I was like, I can never do this again. And it was a dumb ass lie in high school too, because I was on like 3 sports teams and in the orchestra, and I was just like over it, and I was over swim team. And so I told her I went to practice, and I didn't, and she was there at practice, and she knew I didn't go. So that was the only time, because I got in a shit ton of trouble for lying, and I was like, never again. But I was sitting there in my car one day, and I was like, this is worth lying about. It's not hurting anyone. Like, this is going to actually, like, I think make it better. So I told her that I hadn't worked long enough at my job to qualify for the amount of for PTO time. And so I told her I couldn't see her until later. But then when I showed up at the airport, she was so surprised. Like,
Yay!
Yeah, it was awesome. And we had a really good time. My brother and my mom and I, the 3 of us together, get along very well. And so it was just really nice. We literally laid in bed for like 3 days and watched Criminal Minds.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, it was really nice. And my brother and I got some one-on-one time again. And we talked about him coming back here to live with us when he's done helping my mom pack up the house. So yeah, it's been good.
Well, good. I'm so glad you got to see her. That's so exciting and perfect.
Yeah.
And did you say that she is like, she has her vaccine or she's getting it or something? I can't remember.
She, I think, is trying to get it when she's in Illinois. My stepdad, Randy, got his first vaccine. And so he's
oh, that's what it was.
he's waiting to get his second one. So hopefully that'll spring forward the process of him getting to come back.
Yes.
Yeah. So
okay,
that's
good.
That's the hope.
Well, and is she still like technically a resident of Illinois?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say she should just get registered on the Illinois website if she hasn't already. And that way they can like inform her immediately, you know?
Right. I just think it's a long, long wait on the Illinois list.
I don't think it will be anymore though, because
Really?
they're supposed to like Tennessee for sure, which I thought was going to be like one of the last ones. Everybody's supposed to be like get here in Tennessee anyway. They're supposed to be eligible by April 6th, and I'm pretty positive every state is following suit. Where it might not be April 6th, but it'll be soon. Like like she should definitely get registered, so that they can, because they'll email you immediately when they have availability, and then she can just immediately go on to the appointment website and get signed up.
Okay, I'll have to tell her about that for sure.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, the only other thing is I'm tired. I worked too much this week. You know, I think it's really cool with my job because as long as I work 36 to 40 hours, I'm still hitting full time, and I don't have to take time off. So last week I left on Friday to see my mom, and I worked 39.7 hours in 4 days. So I didn't have to take any time off for that Friday. And then I was like, oh, so good. I'll just have to take Monday off. And then I ended up working 12 hours on Wednesday and 12 hours on Thursday, and then like 9 hours yesterday. So I'm going to hit my 40 hours again in 4 days. So I'm going to be able to not take Monday off either. So it's really cool because I didn't have to take any time off to have a 4-day weekend and see my mom, but I'm also really tired.
Yeah. Do you think that's something that's going to last for a long time, or do you think that's something like you're transitioning? You know what I mean? Or was it just because you were visiting?
I think a lot of it was catch up from being gone. There was some paperwork stuff that has been kind of transferred over to me, and so I've been trying to catch up on all of that. Yeah. And then I just had a couple families that, you know, I went there intending to be at their house for like an hour, and then they had a lot more stuff going on than I knew, and so I was there for 3 hours instead. So it just, you know, which is fine. I think I need to put boundaries on that for myself. Yeah, for how many nights a week I go to a house past 5 o'clock, because that's kind of the issue.
Well, and I know that this isn't ideal, but I know that my one of my therapists like used to set a timer, but like not in front of me kind of thing, but like she knew when the time was up, and then like we were very respectful of like, you know, that's your time, unfortunately. Right. Obviously that's not ideal, like I said, because then like the client feels like they're just money, you know what I mean? Right. But, you know, we have to figure out a way to somehow be like, well, I can't stay past this time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's something I've got to kind of figure out for myself, because as you know, I'm very bad at saying no. So if they're talking to me about like serious stuff, I'm not gonna, I'm not somebody to be like, okay, well, I have like 10 more minutes to talk about this and then I need to go. I'm really bad at that. So I need to be better.
Yeah. And it's not something where you're just having like a, you know, a random conversation with your friend who just keeps going on and on and on, or a random person. Like this is, you know, important, valuable things that you're discussing. So makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. But I've come to the decision that I am going to be looking for a therapist myself.
Yay!
Yeah. So I didn't really feel like I needed one when I was just doing neurologic music therapy. I felt like I had I worked a lot of hours, but I felt like I had a pretty good handle on the emotional aspect of it. It was tiring, but you know, this is a whole nother level of stuff that I'm dealing with here. And my insomnia it goes through spurts, and I talked to my mom about this when I was with her, and she was like, well, I've had that all my life too. It comes in waves. And she's like, so you probably got that from me. And I've tried melatonin and stuff like that. It doesn't help, but I get through these spurts of time where, I'll get in bed at 10 and I'm not sleeping till 4 a.m, and then I'm getting up at 6.
God, it sucks.
It's really crappy. And it's like, I also feel really shitty about myself, because I'm like, well, if I had known it was going to take me 5 hours to fall asleep, like I could have been doing all this other stuff, you know? So it's,
but they do say, do you feel like you're stressed that whole 5 hours, or do you feel like you're getting some sort of sense of like rest too, like by closing your eyes?
Half the time I can't even, like if I close my eyes, like I'm not falling asleep. So a lot of times I just have my eyes open until I can try. And I've been trying to, I think I told you about this. I've been reading a lot more. And they're just that, like, I haven't been reading anything like super substantial, just stuff that kind of gets my head out. So it's like they're really cheesy little romance novels. And I read them because I was telling my mom this, they take me away from everything else. It's the only activity I can do in my life where I'm not doing something else. Because if I'm watching a TV show, I'm often doing paperwork, or I am playing Sudoku, or I'm writing my journal. I'm very, very bad at doing one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And reading is the only thing I can do that it's the only thing you can be doing.
Right. And it makes your eyes physically tired too.
Right. So I've been doing that, and sometimes it helps me fall asleep, but sometimes it doesn't. And so I have to try to put it away because I'm like, this is just keeping me up at this point. And then I put it away, and then I still can't fall asleep. So I think if I have a therapist where I can kind of lay everything out on a plate to this person, and they can help me kind of think through things, then I might have an easier time falling asleep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that's good. I think I love therapy. I also, have you tried CBD yet?
No, I haven't.
You need to try CBD. Oh my God. Best sleep I've ever had in my entire life.
Really?
And you can do it however you want to. There's CBD like gummies. There's CBD like drops that you can put in tea or whatever the hell, or just put it under your tongue. It's really helpful, I feel. But the other thing I find that's helpful is, that app that sometimes I try to do the free one, but I don't think that there's enough on the free one. So, and I just haven't brought myself to buy it. But when I have used it, I think I did the free trial or something at one point. It's called Headspace, which I'm sure you've heard of, but it's like a meditation app, and they have all different kinds of meditation. They have meditation for sleep, meditation for anxiety, meditation for if you have a big meeting or something, it's all these different kinds. And I am so shocked I've been trying really hard to do 1 minute of reflection. And by reflection, I just mean sitting still and kind of closing my eyes and literally I count to 60. That's all I can do at this point. But it's wild how it kind of reframes your mindset. But anyway, so I recommend CBD or some app, maybe even YouTube has some free ones. But I do think that therapy might get to the core root of it too and give you some tools.
Right. Yeah, I think that'll.
But it sounds like also you're in a transition too, Maddie. You know what I mean? You got to give yourself some grace to really get into that routine of this new job and this new position and new responsibilities. And you're learning a lot as you're going too. So it's a lot.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But I know that it's one of our hardest things to give ourselves grace. So I get it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm also just, like I said, really bad at saying no. So I have 15 things on my plate at one time.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I understand that.
But what's been going on with you?
Well, I don't know. This week / last couple weeks have been, I don't know, hard. I feel like I'm not alone in this sense. I talked to my therapist about it, and which again, so I'm a huge proponent of therapy.
Yes.
But last week, I don't know if I was talking to you about it, but whatever. Last week, I was just finding myself frustrated at every little fucking thing. I was like, I don't know why. And a part of that was hormonal things. I was on my period, sure, but it was deeper than that. Usually with hormones, I'm like, oh, I know this is irrational, or not even irrational. This is just, it's not irrational at all. It's just I know this is how I'm feeling and it'll end. It's not irrational. Right. I take that back, and I'm sorry to all my feminist gals. But no, then after I was off my period, I was still feeling the same way. So my instinct was right that something's going on. And truthfully, I think it is the pandemic being almost over. I think that I am putting a lot of pressure on myself to get back into music, get back into acting, get back into whatever normal means to me or you or whoever. And I think I was kind of doing some digging on it. And it's interesting because the more I'm in therapy, the more self-aware I am. So when I'm self-aware, I dig deeper, and I really try to reflect as to why I feel the way that I do, and so I think that's helping, because otherwise I would just feel those feelings and be like, oh, that sucks, and then be mad about it for a long time. But now I'm why is this? And I think that honestly, I just feel like I am so used to, or I'm just tired of, number one, adjusting my expectations for kind of everything in the world, as far as well, we thought we were going to have the vaccine by this time. We thought it was going to be over by that time, or whatever. I've been used to being hopeless, that it's hard to have or see that there can be hope moving forward. Right. And I know that that's I know on a intellectual level that, we're gonna get back to where we were, or not back to where we were. I don't think we'll ever get back to where we were, because it's just like times have changed. I think we'll adjust, and we'll, as humans, we'll get to where we need to be. But I think that I have just been putting a lot of pressure on myself to be like, okay, well, you need to get your game up or whatever. And so, and then I also, what's even deeper, and I think so it's the hope thing is what started it, but I did some musical theater videos, which I'm so excited about. They will be released probably next month, or like once a month for the next 3 months, because I did 3.
Yay.
So that was really fun, and I was really happy about it, but I wasn't as like fulfilled as I thought I would be after doing them. And I was like, well, that's new. Like what? And so I think, and again, digging deeper a little bit, I was like, well, I feel like in my head, it's almost like I should be fulfilled with it. So like I'm getting mad at myself for not being fulfilled with it. And I'm like, but that's not what that's not how we approach things anymore, or like I don't want to approach things like that. And so I think that sparked a little thing of me where I was like, well, this does make me happy, but I don't think it's all of me anymore. And then I was like doing Noom and stuff. Again, this is just like all my stream of consciousness. But as I was journaling about it, I was doing my Noom like weight loss stuff. And like they always ask you, and when you work out, like what's your why? Why are you really doing this? And all of my stuff has been very surfacey. Like, I want to feel confident in a bikini, or I want to like fit into clothes. And like that's all stuff that I feel could, like, if I just looked at myself differently, I could do. Like I can be in a bikini right the fuck now, and like I would be hot. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that's not a good why for me to keep pushing. Do you know? And so I was like, what is my why? And so as I was like journaling about it, I was like, I want to live longer. Okay, but like, why do you want to live longer? And then I was like, I want to travel. And then I was like, wait, why do you want to travel? And I was like, oh, fuck. It's been, I kind of came to like a realization of like, the reason why I want to be healthy is because I want to be able to see all this world has to offer. And I want to like go on that 5-mile hike to this like beautiful fucking summit in wherever the hell, universe, and not have to worry about a walker or a wheelchair, or like having to take medicine because I have a disease or something, or like whatever. And I'm not saying it's bad to do those things, because it's possible, but I want to be able to be like 65, 70 and be able to like not have to think about like, can I handle this? You know what I mean? And also like
I 100% get it.
Definitely, I don't know if I'm ever going to have kids, but I know friends of mine will have kids, and I know that I want to be able to play with them and like run around with them and like keep up and stuff like that. So, and that sounds kind of like, common, because a lot of like people talk about that. Like I want to be able to have the energy to go around and stuff like that, with, the young kids and shit like that. But it's also the travel thing is really a big deal for me, because that was like we're starting to plan some trips for the summer, and I was so excited planning all this. So I was like, oh, okay, this is like, it's because I'm a little antsy almost, you know what I mean? And I think everybody's feeling that way. And so that's why I was frustrated, because I was like, so if we're able to get out there, we're going to have, like, the world is going to have to decide what they want to do and what they don't have time for. Because I think before this, we were doing things that we did not have, like, they didn't serve us. And so we were just saying yes, yes, just like you were talking about. And so my therapist and I were just like, especially with music, my therapist was like, well, you just should probably just say yes to the things that you want to do. Like, don't push yourself to go perform at a bar when it opens just because it's there. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And so that's definitely something I've been doing, though. Like, I don't have any grace with myself where I'm just like, you have to ease back into this. Like, not just music, but like the world, but especially music, where you're like, you should be out performing because it's open. You should be out singing, and like, because it's, you know, that kind of thing. So I feel better about it now after having talked to, you know, therapy, and also having talked to my mom and my sister. And, you know, hopefully student loans will be done. So that's another thing that's been weighing on me. Just trying to take that in stride. I have enough. We have to remind ourselves, like, we have enough to eat and to have a house or have an apartment.
We have our basic
whatever.
needs.
So we have our basic needs fucking met. So, like, stop putting so much pressure on yourself to do so much more.
Right.
Like, we were meant to do more than just pay bills and lose weight.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And that whole thing of, like, realizing that music might not be all of me anymore, and it's something that gives me a spark. It reminded me of that movie Soul, where they're like, yeah, your spark is part of you, but it's not all of you. And I think I'm finally seeing that, like now in my later years, well, not later years, my mid years, I guess, where I'm finally starting to see that, like, just because I don't do it all of the time doesn't mean that it's not a big deal, but that's not all of who I am.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's a scary thing, because then you're like, well, what am I? You know what I mean? So anyway, that's where I've been these past 2 weeks, and it's just a transition.
Yeah, it is. It takes time. We'll get there.
Yeah. So if any of you guys are feeling this way, we would love to hear from you, but that's pretty much all that I have to say. Was there anything else that you have left in you?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Excited
I'm really
for
proud
next
of you,
week.
though, for working so hard and like doing so many things. And I hope that you take that to heart too. Like, really think about what you like want to do. This time I'm talking to Madi. I mean, yes, audience, you too. But I really want like you to know that you're really cool and awesome and intelligent and smart and beautiful. And I just want you to say yes to the things that like serve you, you know?
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll keep that in mind. The next time I'm going to be like, Holly told me to make sure that it's serving me too.
Yeah. You got to fill your cup too, so you can fill others.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's it, you guys.
We did it.
We did it. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. We hope that you have an amazing time with your weeks ahead. If you are in the southern states like I am, please be careful with the tornadoes and the storms that are happening. And also read The Feminine Mystique by Betty Friedan. We love her. It was all about, oh my God, I can't even, that's gonna be a whole other podcast. Just read the book, okay? All right. Well, thank you so much, you guys.
Bye.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.